Hi everyone, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be doing a video a lot like my first one. A lot of people don't know that anxiety is a collection of disorders. It could be generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. Took me a second to say. Test anxiety, the list goes on, but instead of breaking that into all one video like I did before, I want to do a collection of videos of how I have overcome things. I had some people volunteer to share their experiences as well. I am an advocate of anxiety disorders. I really would love to help people learn more about them. I want to help people know that they can overcome some of the extreme anxiety that you or others may have. The first video and the first subject of anxiety I want to touch on is about phobias. The reason why I wanted to do this video first is because I have found a lot of ways to overcome my phobia, and I want to be able to share ways that I have overcome my anxieties. I don't just want to talk to you about them and then kind of leave you hanging. What's the difference between a fear and a phobia? Phobia is a really overused term. I always thought it was made up, but first off, what is a fear? You may be able to tell me what your fear is. Before, I wasn't able to tell you the definition of a fear. A fear is an emotion that frightens us. It could be a person, a situation, something that we don't want to be around that may come across as unsafe to us. The list could go on. There's other definitions. I have a fear of ladybugs. I freak out whenever they're around, and same with bees, but I can be around them. I could be in their presence and I will still be able to function okay after I scream. That leads me to a phobia. What is it? What's the difference between a fear and a phobia? A phobia is whenever this fear, this extreme fear, affects your everyday life and daily process. Most of the time, people can't physically function or think correctly whenever they are in association with this fear. They don't even need to be in association with this fear. They could be thinking about it or have been exposed to it maybe months ago, and it's still on their mind every single day and gives them physical effects. This can turn into extreme panic attacks, sweating, breathing heavily, fast heartbeat. I'm not saying that fears can't do this to people, but this happens a lot whenever somebody has a phobia. And if you look up on YouTube, like my extreme phobia of animals, stuff like that, you could see how bad this affects a person. This could be a little kid to a grown person. I have a phobia of vomit. I usually don't even say vomit, throw up, puke, blah, blah. Whenever I'm talking to people about it, I usually say, like, did you get sick? A lot of people notice that. They're like, what do you mean by get sick? There are so many ways that somebody can get sick, but I associate getting sick as vomiting. I've had this phobia ever since I could remember, but I didn't realize it was a phobia until I was a bit older because I haven't vomited a lot in my life. I only remember like 1 or 2 times whenever it did happen, and I think back to it and think how extreme I reacted whenever it was happening to me or somebody else. I could never watch it on TV. I could never see a baby spit up. I couldn't throw up myself. I hated it. I just shut down whenever I get sick. And it seemed to me more extreme when I would be sick or feel sick than when somebody else was sick. But at the same time, when other people would sick, it was like I lost all common sense for a little bit. And I have 2 situations that I'm going to tell you about. The first one, I was with a friend and we were in a hot tub. We got out and she looked completely white the moment we stepped out. And the minute I saw her white, I was like, I need to help her. If she's white, that means she's gonna vomit. And I wasn't thinking correctly, and I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you gonna get sick? Like all this stuff. I started freaking out when she goes, I think I'm going to throw up. The minute I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to die. Like that's what I thought, to be completely honest. I ran up and I got her mom when she was standing on concrete steps after getting out of a hot tub saying that she was about to throw up and her face looked white. I was just too scared in the moment. So I ran up, and thank God someone was standing behind her, because the minute that me and her mom got back, we saw her on the ground. She fainted and there was someone behind her to catch her. And I am so thankful that that person was there. The next time I was with my boyfriend and we were at a movie. His family was sick, but I kind of forgot, like I didn't really forget about it, but I was like, oh, do you want to hang out on Sunday? We went out with his friends and he drove there. And the whole time I kept asking like, are you gonna be sick because your whole family was sick? And he was like, no, I'm fine. At the end of the movie, turns out he was sick. The minute he told me that I had to drive home, I started to cry when he really was the one who was suffering more than I was. And I was sitting in the back, too scared to touch anything around me because I was so scared of this stomach virus. And this is the first time that I've actually full-on dealt with somebody who was sick. So I did drive him home. He timed everything perfectly. I didn't see him get sick. But ever since that time, I haven't really been as bad if other people are getting sick. I used to see a person get sick on TV or in person, and it used to play throughout my head after day, and I'd feel physically sick. I couldn't stay at school a lot at the beginning of my senior year because I was sick, and then the thought of my phobia made it 10 times worse. I couldn't stay at school the whole day. I've been getting counseling, and I have been working with dealing with my phobia. The only thing that I need way more work on now is whenever I'm sick, because I cannot function when I'm sick. I get freaked out. Like my mom to go somewhere one time when I had the stomach virus, and I literally didn't move for like 3 hours, and I try to hold back myself getting sick. You could find a lot of videos on YouTube of people who have went through it, their stories, which are really inspiring to see how these people are fighting through this phobia. But as I said, phobias can bring panic attacks. Like I would have panic attacks at school just from the thought of it, and I would think I'm sick. And panic attacks come in the form of a stomach virus. I feel like I'm going to vomit. It's pretty awful, but I've been getting better. I'm able to watch it on TV now. Nobody wants to do that, I don't think, but I'm able to see it on TV. Now I'm going to talk about a few ways that I've gotten over it. The first thing, I use peppermint, whether it's peppermint essential oils, peppermint gum has been helping me a lot. I used to hate peppermint, but now it calms my stomach so much. Essential oils, specifically doTERRA, have helped me a lot. Just the smell of peppermint or maybe wild orange just to boost my mood has really helped me. And then another thing is counting to 3 and breathing. When you count to 3 and you get rid of that moment that just happened a second ago and you know that it's over and you just take a big deep breath in and out, it's just so much better to know that you don't have that pain that you had a second ago. Even if you're still having pain, that moment has passed. It's going to get better. Trust me, it does not take years and years if you're constantly telling yourself that you want to get better. You have to tell yourself, I am okay. It's a hard thing to do. It's something that does take work. I have a blog post down below that I list ways that I have gotten through being anxious or stressed. I have the topics highlighted so you could easily just skim through it. Stretching, relaxing, breathing, and I talk a little bit more about them. If you want to contact me, I'm always open to suggestions, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the support. Bye guys!